We are here today because we have an election looming. An election that was forced because some people had to make decisions about their political future. The reality of it is, we have had 5 years of uncertainty. And 5 years of uncertainty caused by political turmoil brought about by certain parties. 2018 was a year that was historic for us. We started it in 2008. Before 2008, there was always this question about whether or not Malaysians could come together for change. And of course, prior to that, as all of you know, the general feeling was that that was never possible. We were up against a federal government that had been in place ever since independence. Likewise for the states, most of the states under one government ever since independence. Kita tidak boleh masa itu fikir berkenaan dengan satu masa di mana kita ada satu kerajaan yang baru dalam negara ini. But 2008 we started it. 2008 somehow, I think the people decided they would come together for change. Why did we want change? Because we realized that in this country, if we carry on with Barisan Nasional, then of course, we are not going to see the kind of future that all of us would like. Kita semua tahu berkenaan dengan apa berlaku dalam tahun 2008. Now 2008 was important, and I think we need to remind ourselves, because at that time people said, you cannot win. And if you win, you are going to find turmoil, not only in the states where you have a new government, but also at federal level. So this is why, at the end of the day, we look back to 2008. We ask ourselves a simple question. 3 terms as state governments in Penang, in Selangor, there has not been turmoil. In fact, what we see is stability. We see stability in governance. We see governance that is people-centric. And at the end of the day, we see governance where we are all clean and there are no elements of corruption in government. Saya rasa ini menjadi sebab-sebab utama dalam mana rakyat Malaysia, mereka bukan sahaja percaya, tapi mereka sedar bahawa kalau ada perubahan, maka kita dapat melihat kerajaan-kerajaan yang lebih baik untuk rakyat Malaysia. Bukan saja di peringkat negeri, tetapi juga di peringkat nasional. So from 2008, we moved on. And we saw how it is, this movement for change gained traction. 2013 and subsequently 2018. 2018, somehow we managed to make history. Everyone coming together to make sure that we remove and defeat a regime led by Najib Tun Razak, Barisan Nasional. Dan saya nak beritahu kepada semua di sini, kalau kita balik kepada semangat kita dalam tahun 2018, kita masih ingat masa itu ramai yang bincang, bisik berkenaan dengan masalah besar rasuah di Malaysia. We were at a time in which there was so much talk about huge scale corruption in Malaysia. Huge scale corruption starting in Malaysia, but which had a global effect. We still remember the 1MDB fiasco. And I think what is important here is for us to recognize that at that point in time, even though we raised the issue, in Parliament, issue taken up by Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim, issue taken up by Lim Guan Eng, and also, of course, the man himself, Tony Phua. But what was the reaction of our government? Apabila kita bangkitkan isu berkenaan dengan rasuah besar, bagaimana perlu untuk kita ambil tindakan untuk siasat, kita lihat bagaimana tindakan diambil terhadap kita. And I think it is important to remind ourselves of the kind of pressure and resistance that we face. We read in our news about inquiries in America. We have inquiries by the DOJ into large-scale corruption here. In Malaysia, what do you see at that time? You see a government led by Najib Razak. You see them change attorney generals. You see them saying to us there is no basis, no truth to these allegations. And what happens? We see people like Tony Poa being called in for questioning by the police. You see people like Tony Poa being sued for defamation because he raised what the rest of the world were also saying were true. Now, why is this important? This is important because after 2018, all of us can see action taken in respect of 1MDB. Now, this is important because we must understand that if you have a government that does not want to change, a government that protects itself against allegations of corruption, then this country won't move anywhere. The reason why we see action being taken in 1MDB is because the people of Malaysia stood up in 2018 and changed government. I'm sure all of you all here agree. If we did not change government in 2018, would we see any action in 1MDB? Yes, there won't be action. But this tells you that we in Malaysia must understand the significance of that one constitutional right that we have. Sebagai rakyat, kita semua ada hak. Hak di bawah perlembagaan, undang-undang yang tertinggi dalam negara ini. Untuk setiap 5 tahun sekali, kita ini undi. Bila kita ada kerajaan yang tidak boleh dengar kepada rintihan, tidak mau buat siasatan, bawa siasatan kepada perkara-perkara rasuah besar dan sebagainya, maka kita ada keputusan yang perlu dibuat oleh rakyat. So we can have a government that doesn't want to take action, a government that denies that there is a problem, a government that keeps on governing blindly, knowing very well that all is not well. But every 5 years, we have that one right. Malaysians can come together and we can change government. Because if we want action to be taken, then that is the only way it is going to happen.